Peter Claffey, the talented Irish actor stepping into the iconic role of Ser Duncan the Tall in the highly anticipated Game of Thrones spin-off series A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, has opened up about his profound admiration for the legendary author behind the entire Westeros universe, George R.R. Martin. This praise comes at a pivotal moment as the series, which premiered on HBO, brings one of Martin's lesser-known but cherished works to life on screen for the first time in a major adaptation. George R.R. Martin, the visionary American novelist, screenwriter and producer, is best known worldwide for crafting the intricate, sprawling epic fantasy saga that began with A Game of Thrones and continued through subsequent volumes such as A Clash of Kings, A Storm of Swords, A Feast for Crows, A Dance with Dragons, and the companion historical tome Fire and Blood. His writing has captivated millions with its complex characters, morally ambiguous politics, shocking twists, and richly detailed world-building that draws heavily from medieval history, mythology, and human nature's darker impulses. Martin's ability to weave grand narratives with intimate, personal stories has made him one of the most influential figures in modern fantasy literature, inspiring not just readers but also a massive television phenomenon that redefined prestige TV. In A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, Claffey embodies Ser Duncan the Tall, a humble, towering hedge knight whose journey begins in a much earlier era of Westeros history, nearly a full century before the events of the original Game of Thrones series unfold. The show adapts Martin's collection of novellas collectively known as the Tales of Dunk and Egg, which follow the adventures of the earnest but inexperienced Duncan and his young squire, who hides a royal secret under the name Egg, portrayed by Dexter Sol Ansell. These stories stand apart from the main saga by offering a lighter, more adventurous tone while still retaining Martin's signature depth in exploring themes of honor, class, chivalry, and the harsh realities beneath the surface of knighthood. The series promises to delve into the political intrigue, tournaments, and personal growth that shaped Dunk's path, all set against the backdrop of a Westeros still recovering from past wars and dynastic shifts. Claffey, at 29 years old, brings a fresh energy to the role, having already built a reputation through performances that showcase his range and intensity. He has described himself as an enormous fan of the original Game of Thrones series, admitting to being a massive devotee who geeks out over fantasy worlds, superheroes, and epic storytelling in general. This passion made his interactions with Martin particularly meaningful. In a revealing interview with a prominent entertainment publication, Claffey shared details of an extended, heartfelt conversation he had with the author, one that stretched over hours during a dinner meeting. The discussion revolved around favorite scenes from the original show, the nuances of the lore, and the creative decisions that made Westeros feel so alive and immersive. Claffey recounted how the evening turned into a deep dive into the elements he cherished most about Martin's creation. He spoke enthusiastically about specific moments that had stuck with him as a viewer, analyzing how they contributed to the overall tapestry of the series. What struck him most, beyond the storytelling, was Martin's approachable and genuine demeanor. Far from the image of a distant, reclusive genius that some might expect from such a celebrated writer, Martin came across to Claffey as remarkably down-to-earth and normal. The actor emphasized Martin's genuine enjoyment in discussing his own world, Westeros and its endless layers of history, houses, religions, and legends. Martin, in turn, seemed delighted to engage with someone who appreciated the intricacies as much as he did. This mutual enthusiasm highlights a beautiful synergy between creator and interpreter. Claffey described Martin as really sweet and a really lovely guy, someone who takes sincere pleasure in seeing his ideas brought to life and in sharing the passion with others who care deeply about it. For Claffey, the experience was not just professional but profoundly personal, feeding his inner ginormous nerd, who loves dissecting fantasy elements and debating their significance. The hours spent talking underscored how Martin's work continues to inspire new generations of artists and fans, even as he remains actively involved in guiding adaptations of his material. The broader context of A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms adds even more weight to this praise. As a prequel spin-off, it expands the Game of Thrones universe in a direction that feels both familiar and refreshingly distinct. Where the original series grappled with massive wars, dragons, and existential threats, the Dunk and Egg tales focus more on ground-level adventures, personal codes of conduct, and the everyday struggles of those navigating a feudal society. Ser Duncan represents an archetype of the true knight, large in stature but even larger in heart, often clumsy in social graces yet unwavering in his sense of right and wrong. Egg, meanwhile, provides comic relief and mystery, as his true identity as a future king adds layers of irony and tension to their bond. Claffey's portrayal has already generated buzz for capturing Dunk's earnestness and physicality, qualities that Martin himself has praised in discussions around the project. The actor's fandom translates into a performance that respects the source material while bringing new life to it. His conversation with Martin serves as a reminder of why these adaptations resonate so strongly. When creators and performers connect on such a human level, the resulting work carries authenticity and passion that audiences can feel.